joined the Army in January of 1996. I come from a military family, and so it's one of those things where you always expected to serve. I mean, my mother and my father were in the Army. That's where they met. My sister was born, my oldest sister was born in an Army base. So it was just, the Army was in my blood, so to speak. My MOS, or my military occupation specialty, was 13 Mike, a multiple launching rocket systems crew member in chief. Surface-to-surface missiles, essentially, yes. I had an honorable discharge. I served my complete tour of duty. Well, one of the things that made me interested on doing a documentary with the Veterans Administration is that it's an extremely large organization that consumes a significant portion of our defense budget, and our defense budget is $750 million, $1 trillion a year. I'm sorry, $750 billion. One of the things with that is, as you may be aware, there are several operating deficiencies inside of the Veterans Administration, as well as just outright grift, lies, subterfuge, and there's a lack there's a lack in between the care expected, whether it's in educational benefits, healthcare benefits, transitional assistance. There's a lack between what is expected and what is promised and what you actually receive as a veteran. My experience with the VA is pretty much par for the course. If you examine my last statement, there's a tremendous amount of, once again, subterfuge or outright. For myself, I had 2 grand mal seizures in August of 2020. One of them in which I was clinically dead for 3 minutes, and then the next one in which went for over 5 minutes, but I broke my shoulder, broke my right jaw, and a few other things. And to put this into perspective, Dr. Jennifer Bolger, who was my VA my primary care physician, she refused me to even get an x-ray, refused to allow me to have an x-ray for 6 weeks. And that delayed obviously it delayed my surgeries. It delayed a lot of things, and it left me in complete and excruciating pain. I dropped over 30 pounds in the first 4 weeks, simply because I couldn't eat, and the pain was unbearable. They really don't. If you get lucky, I mean, essentially, it's the culture of the military, okay, and it spills over to the Veterans Administration. The military and the Veterans Administration hate any type of oversight. That's the reason why the Pentagon never gets audited, because it would just be too much of a headache, too much of a hassle to find out where the grift is coming from. It would be too much of a hassle, too much of a headache to actually investigate what happens to our service members, whether it's Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard. And our reservists, even our reservists, and they're included in our service members, obviously, because they are service members. They don't address anything. They would rather sweep things under the rug, and it's not until you actually, until people complain, and it has to be a lot of people, not one person. It has to be several hundred people, and they have to complain to their elected officials. You're not going to get anywhere with the Veterans Administration. I am no longer a member of any veteran service organizations. I don't, from my experience, I just don't think that they understand the modern veteran. I think one of the biggest things that you can do is talk to veterans, talk to especially veterans that aren't related to you, that their only interests are going to be to tell the truth. You see what I'm saying? Because you're going to find that every person is going to have a different experience, but then every person is going to have a very similar experience when you go into the military, because the environment, it changes station to station, but only so much. Um, so the best thing that I think you can do is really be aware. Make sure that you get your information. Make sure that you understand that that it's not it's not an environment for a lot of people, and it's not something until there's reforms. I think that you really need to ensure that you're safeguarding yourself and your family, because there's a tremendous amount, like the history and the culture, the organizational behavior of the military is one where they don't take um, they don't take service member upon service member crime seriously at all. And I don't believe that that's just an overstatement or a blanket statement. I don't believe I don't believe that it's a stretch to say that that the second you join the military, this man's army or whatever it is, they consider you to be property rather than being a human. And it's demonstrated by the first thing they do is load you into a cattle car. So it's a very dehumanizing process, and they do that so they can break away the individual. But human beings are individuals. That's what makes us unique. It's what allows for stronger bonds.
Wonderful. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.